Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Belle again, and welcome to The Roads with Belle. Today is March 9th, 2025, and this is episode 81 of The Roads Not Taken, which is a weekly series where we go over the news that was unreported, underreported, didn't get the coverage we felt that it should, or we just found it interesting. And then we go over a few questions from y'all. Today is March 9th, and it's daylight savings. If you didn't know that, you're probably late. And on this date in 1974, a Japanese lieutenant surrendered in the Philippines. Yes, 1974. He stayed on the island hiding and carrying on a one-man fight for almost 30 years after World War II ended. And starting with foreign policy, a pair of U.S. Army soldiers have been charged in an investigation related to the, quote, conspiring to transmit national defense information. Allegations center on passing classified information related to the Bradley and Stryker onto Chinese intelligence. Trump cut off U.S. intelligence support to Ukraine, which is reported to have hindered their air defenses. Russia exploited the window with a massive aerial bombardment. U.S. and Ukrainian officials are expected to meet in Saudi Arabia this week to discuss the current elevated tensions. Chinese officials have accused Trump of being, quote, two-faced, and said that major powers shouldn't bully weaker nations. Europe is warming to the idea of a European-only nuclear umbrella, and up to 20 countries seem to be lined up in a coalition of the willing to defend Ukraine without the U.S. The U.S. vetoed the G7 attempt to curtail Russia's Shadow Fleet, which is Russia's aging fleet of tankers that are allegedly used to circumvent sanctions and provide Russia with plausible deniability. The Five Eyes have reportedly started limiting intelligence sharing with the United States. In U.S. news, Democratic lawmakers are pushing back on Trump's plans to fire tens of thousands of Veterans Affairs employees, calling it reckless. We should have some clarity on whether we'll have a government shutdown this week. If not, we'll have a government shutdown. So there's that. Trump is continuing to play his base by renaming military installations after soldiers with names similar to Confederate generals. Fort Benning is back, but it's once again not named after a Confederate general. Again, I'm waiting to see what they do with Fort A.P. Hill. The measles outbreak is continuing to spread in Texas and New Mexico. If you end up involved in this, I am begging you to seek professional medical assistance and not Facebook memes. We have already lost at least 2. Harris has said she will make a determination about a future run by the end of summer. In cultural news, California State's University's Project Rebound raised more than $30,000. Thank you all so much for helping. We have a little message to share with you as well. Quote, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much from Project Rebound. There are no words to say because not only does it help financially, but it always means so much to them that so many people care. Again, thank you all so much. In science news, Starship, which is the premier rocket of SpaceX, attempted to launch this week. It is reported to have spun uncontrollably and exploded right as it reached space. Elon Musk was quoted as saying, "Rockets are hard." The butterfly population in the United States has declined 22% in the last 20 years. Butterflies are pollinators and critical to, well, life. Plant native wildflowers if you want to help. Meteorites fell to Earth and landed in Maine. In economic news, interest rates are not likely to come down quickly. Jerome Powell has once again said the Fed is not in a hurry to cut them based on the jobs report. I'm sure the massive government layoffs have nothing to do with it. The NASDAQ entered correction. The GDP Now forecast for the first quarter is now sitting at negative 2.4%. I think we'll get another one on March 17th. In oddities, Trump's Department of Defense efforts to unwoke itself led to images of the Enola Gay being targeted for deletion. Perhaps he'll rename what might be the most timeline-changing bomber in the history of the world, the Enola Superstraight. If you don't know, the Enola Gay is the plane that dropped the bomb on Hiroshima. On to the Q&A. Democrats seem like they haven't learned their lesson and I do not have a lot of faith in them gaining a majority in either the Senate or the House in 2026. I believe Biden could have done more as president, but what he did achieve were big deals. Democrats failed in demonstrating those wins and showing strength. They came off weak. Now with Trump in office and a Republican supermajority, Jeffries pretty much says they are not going to try to fight back, showing the American people when things are tough, they are going to give up. Why would anyone want to vote for them in 2026 with that attitude? What can they do to regain the trust of the American people? To show, even with their backs against the wall, they will do everything they can, even if they lose. I'm not sure what people want them to do. The voters did not show up for them on Election Day. Therefore, today, they don't have the votes in Congress. If Democrats attempt to fight a series of battles right now, they will lose and look weak. They don't have the votes. They can't do anything except exploit divisions within the Republican Party. Democratic messaging isn't great, but the other party is motivated and energized by owning the libs. So every lost battle they commit to moves centrists and independents to Republicans. They can engage in minor signaling and let people know that they would be different if they were in power. But that's kind of it. The time to fight back against this was in November. Right now, the American people are going to get a clear view of the Republican agenda in action. We got a couple of questions about 538 being shut down. The short version is, quote, "Can you or your team recommend a good replacement?" I am actually not sure of a site that performs the functions 538 did. You can always pull individual polls, but that's going to get very time-consuming and difficult to track them all down. I'm hoping one of the internet people have a better answer. So help us out in the comments, guys. Can you please do a video about MTG seeming to advocate for measles parties? I got one asking about this or asking me to do a video, and I am not sure I can do one without breaking our no profanity rule. If you missed it, reporting says she seemed to compare measles to chickenpox. And I did a video, I think, a week ago where, and I was not kidding, measles is not chickenpox. It is not the same. There are severe complications that come with measles. So, no, I'm not going to talk about MTG. But please do not have measles parties. And please consult your provider for the best course of action, whether that's to get an immunization, risks, anything like that. Please consult your provider. Also, the CDC is recommending immunization as the best defense. But again, consult with your provider if getting the immunization is appropriate for you. And please don't listen to MTG. So, that looks like it. A little more information and a little more context, and having the right information will make all the difference. Y'all have a good day.